You've been silenced for very long, and every time you try to resist, they put you in jail.
For my children.
You've controlled your mind for so long to the point where you let them decide what your kids should learn, what gender they will be. And now you've let them to come for the whole nation, destroying what Britain once stood up for. They use this media machine not to report the facts to you, but to tell you what to think and what you should do.
Always be careful.
They're hiding the facts behind the noise, and they're recruiting pedophiles to tell you how to behave. And these politicians who meant to protect you, they're out there smashing your head on the ground. And no jail time for them. This road we've been on has been very dark for a very long time, and it's time to shine a light on the truth and advocate for justice. We the people make the nation, and if we don't stand up and advocate for justice, then we certainly won't make this nation great again. So we have to create a place for that, a place that can contribute to a more informed society. And that place is Next Frontier Media.
You are listening to The Baraka Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, the chaos is no longer in the Middle East. The chaos is no longer in the Middle East. It's right here in Manchester. It's right here in Europe. This is what's taking place in Townsend City. Folks, viewer discretion advised. The Kurds are taking the street. They're declaring victory in Manchester. All right, folks. Viewer discretion advised. The fight is not in the Middle East. We've seen a lot of protesters taking place. A country over there wants to somehow take the street as well. We see Bangladesh. We see Pakistan every single time when there's an independence, when this every Independence Day. Every single year it happens. But this time is the Kurds. The Kurds, I don't know if you guys know this, this group of people. They don't have a country. They've been promised by several people who needed their help in the Middle East, including Britain. We promised them a land. The United States promised them a land. Each time they always fail. They never get it. It looks like to this time they are fighting now, and not in the Middle East. They are fighting in Europe. There's a lot of videos that's just been released. Yesterday, I don't know what was going on. Yesterday, at least 7 people got stabbed. At least 7 people got stabbed. We don't know how many people killed yet. 7 people got stabbed last night. I mean, this has nothing to do with... well, okay. Can we really say that? We somehow have some sort of historical involvement. But this has nothing to do with Manchester, I can say that for sure. This has nothing to do with Paris, Mercer. Has nothing to do with us, but somehow it's here. And of course, cars have been destroyed. Streets have been vandalized. Shops have been destroyed. Because something is taking place in the Middle East. Something is taking place in Syria. Something is taking place in Iraq. Or maybe Iran. Or maybe Turkey. And the Kurdish are like, we're going to fight. And we're going to fight in Manchester. All right. Brace yourself for an impact, folks. We're going to cover a lot of story, not just this one. There's a lot of stuff to cover today. I do not have it on the screen for some reason. I do not have my stories on the screen. Can we get my stories on the screen? Hold on, folks. Let me get the guys who do this. Let's get these stories on the screen. We don't have these stories on the screen here, folks. Let's get the stories on the screen so we can tell you what we're covering today. But we're covering a lot of stories today, including the Kurds. I mean, yeah, we're gonna talk about why they don't have a country, and how many times these guys have been used by a lot of forces, promise them a land, but then later takes away from them. I'm gonna tell you what I know about this group, and if you know more than me, then you can comment down below, and we can go back and forth, and I'm sure some people will learn from that conversation. But here's the stories that we're gonna cover today. So we're gonna cover the Kurds, the Syrian V Kurdish conflicts disrupt Manchester's Curry Mile yesterday. I was live yesterday in Manchester. I told you that it was taking place. Literally, I was live yesterday in Manchester. It was taking place. I was thinking, should I go? But then, given what I do, and I was alone in Manchester, and it was like 9 o'clock. It was dark. Of course, I was not gonna go. Come on, no. So I didn't go. Tomorrow I'm gonna be in Manchester again. So maybe I'm gonna be with my team. So maybe I'm gonna go. Maybe, because I can you know, when I'm around people and there's somebody protecting me, I can get cheeky a little bit. I'm playing. All right, but yesterday it took place yesterday. I didn't go because, of course, obviously I'm not gonna put myself in that kind of situation. But a lot of cars were destroyed, people were stabbed, crazy stuff. We're also going to cover the Met Police have banned Walk with Christ, Walk with Jesus march to avoid provoking local Muslim community. Hey, this is crazy. This is Whitechapel here. We're going to talk about that. Glasgow Hospital admits defeat basically onto this contaminated water likely caused child infections. They denied for several years that the water was clean, and then a lot of kids, cancer patients, died in that hospital. It's important that we talk about it because now they've come out and said, yeah, we knew about it, and guess what? We make sure nobody got to talk about it, and we made sure anybody who posted about it was censored heavily, and we paid a lot of money to make sure everybody was censored that was talking about the contamination of water. Man, this is insane. We need to talk about that. Glasgow, what the heck? What's happening? I thought the SNP was maybe a party that cares about human being. Apparently not. So let's talk about that. And we're also going to talk about Crowborough parents have withdrawn their children from local schools in reaction to last night's influx of illegal migrants into the camp. We need to talk about that. And we're also going to finish with women are not safe in the UK today. It's important that you see this. It's important that we talk about this because I don't think a lot of women today feel safe. And we need to actually talk about it. This is a debate that we need to have within the country. What should we do? Should we send women somewhere else? Or should we try to protect them in this country? I think we should try to protect them in this country. And maybe it's a debate that we can have into what sort of measure we can pull in to keep our girls, our precious girls, safe in the country. All right, folks. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. As you already know, this is not a regular broadcast. Let's get straight into it, folks. Let's get straight into this, shall we? I think it's important we talk about this. This is a topic that a lot of people ignore, and it comes up every single year, the topic of the Kurds. Now, here's some videos that took place yesterday. The Kurdish people went outside, and yeah, of course, they went outside and they destroyed a lot of stuff, folks. Let's show you this. Let me show you this video, then I'm gonna tell you more about them. This is in Manchester, bro. I know this place. Look at that. They're fighting each other, folks. It's crazy. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, this is where we are today, folks. Where the Kurdish, the Kurds, and the Syrians in the UK are fighting each other. Why? It's a long story, folks. I don't know. Where should I start? Should I start with the Ottoman Empire just before the First World War? The Ottoman Empire had the whole place. Basically, they occupied a part of Syria. They occupied a part of Iraq. The Ottoman Empire had a lot of spaces over there. And during the Ottoman Empire, there was a tiny little minorities, tiny little people. They call themselves the Kurdish. And that's why there's a place called Kurdistan, but it doesn't exist. Kurdistan does not exist, but it was promised to exist. So after World War I, we defeated the Ottoman Empire. We came into power, and of course, the British Empire was all over the Middle East at that time. After we defeated the Ottoman Empire, we promised the Kurds that they're gonna get their land. That's what we did. We promised, hey Kurdish, we're gonna get you a land. And every single map that we printed after that, we make sure that place that we promised them, we make sure it said Kurdistan. We make sure it said Kurdistan because that's why these guys lived, all right? That's what the British did. We said, hey, we're going to promise you a land. This is when we basically owned almost the half of the Middle East, where we had autonomy, where we had control over the whole, basically half of the Middle East at that time. This is 1918. So after 1918, of course, World War II is raging. Hitler is out there making his speeches, making his promises to his people. Then boom, we go into World War II. And of course, we needed some bases over there, and we did our thing that we needed. And then obviously, Israel got its land, and a lot of people got their independence around after World War II. A lot of countries declared independence. We had Pakistan declaring independence, India declaring independence, almost the whole country, I'll say half of the countries in the world today gained independence. A lot of African countries gained independence, all these things. But guess which country did not gain independence? Exactly. Kurdistan did never get independence because, of course, the Turkey government in power was like, hey, we're not going to let the Kurds take in a part of our land. And then the Syrians was like, hey, we're not going to let the Kurds take a part of our land. Iran, they were like, hey, we're not going to let the Kurds take a part of our land. And then, of course, Iraq, we're not going to let the Kurds take a part of our land. So guess what happened? The border was drawn. And then there was no, because the Kurds are basically in the middle of all these four countries, Syria, Turkey, Iran, and Iraq. The Kurds are basically in between. They basically are in the middle of this. And the border was not drawn around them, was drawn basically divide them. Now the Kurds find themselves in a situation where they had multiple countries, where they had Iran, where there were Kurdish in Iran, where there were Kurds in Syria, Kurds in Iraq, Kurds in Turkey. So they are basically everywhere now, and they don't have a land, and they don't have political representation. So they kept on fighting. They start using guerrilla tactics to fight, and everybody start fighting them, including the Turkish. The Turkey government was very brutal to the Kurds, pushing them everywhere, making sure they had nothing. And I think during the 80s, or maybe during the, on the Cold War type of time, the Kurdish wanted to have some form of representative. So they made, I would say, they made a political party called the PKK, the Workers' Party of Kurdistan. Workers' Party of Kurdistan, PKK. And of course, that was, because they had no representation at all, they needed to use all these guerrilla tactics to free themselves from Syria, from Iraq, from Iran. And they tried to basically make their own country in between them. And of course, they had no way of doing so. So they start using guerrilla tactics, a little bit of terrorism. Hey, they destroy stuff. They target politicians in Turkey. all these things to get himself a little bit of attention. Of course, that did not work, and it got to the point where they were prescribed as a the PKK is called now. The PKK was described as a terrorist group. Now, let's just fast forward today. They still don't have a country, and they're still doing all these guerrilla tactics, but it's more kind of subtle. People can, we can deal with them now, I guess, in a sense. But they've always been a people who, they've been used a lot. When during the Iran-Iraq war with Saddam Hussein in the early 1980s, the Kurds were basically used. Iran used the Kurds in Iraq. I was like, hey bro, help us out. We're gonna give you something. And then of course Saddam Hussein used the Kurds in Iran. Like, hey Kurds, help us out. We're gonna help you. We're gonna help you. And of course the Kurds want something, and they always get manipulated and help out. And then of course Saddam Hussein with the weapon of mass destruction, I guess, with the chemical weapons, genocided over 500,000 Kurds. I don't know if you know about this genocide. This is 1980s, a huge genocide that took place. Saddam Hussein killed a lot of Kurds. We don't talk about this genocide, right? I mean, we don't talk about it again because they're not as powerful enough to even get their own country. Now today, the recent time they got used was in 2014, when of course, the war against terror, actually after 9/11, they got used again by American forces when we needed to go to Saddam Hussein. We needed to get Saddam Hussein, right? But remember, the Kurds were already being proscribed as a terrorist group. This Workers' Party, the PKK, was already described as a terrorist group. But the PKK was all over the Middle East now, because there's a lot of Kurds everywhere in the Middle East. And so we needed help from the Kurds, but we couldn't get help from people who we called terrorists. So guess what we did? We changed the Kurdish. We basically told them to change their name in Syria, because we told them to change their name in Syria and Iraq, so we can get help from them to fight Saddam Hussein, and also to fight what's the previous leader of Syria before he was toppled in 2024, Assad. And of course the Kurds thought like, oh man, America needs our help, they're gonna give us something. Guess what? They changed their name to Syrian Democratic Forces. So they were used to be called PKK in Syria, but they changed their name to Syrian Democratic Forces. So then now they're not terrorists. Now they're not like prescribed as terrorist group because they changed their name. Remember that? You change your name, you're fine. Just like the Syrian leader right now, he changed his name, he's no longer a terrorist. So they changed his name, they changed their name, and guess what? They helped us out. And then when we didn't need them, we kind of like said, hey, fuck it, we don't need you. Now they have nobody out there to help them. So guess what? They are fighting in Manchester today. All right, that's a long story, but I think you guys needed to know a little bit. But you can go deeper into the history. There's a lot of things, a lot of suppression. A lot of them have been killed, like especially in Turkey. Oh my God, Turkey is crazy with it. I don't know how Erdogan has not been prescribed as like a war criminal or something, but he has killed a lot of Kurds. And today, those people are fighting in Britain today, and it's important that you watch this. Here's a video of what took place in Manchester. Man, it's insane. It's crazy, folks. Listen to this. Yeah, do you see that? They're destroying cars, they're destroying shops. So the Kurds are targeting the Syrians in the UK, and the Syrians are defending themselves from the Kurds, or maybe they're targeting the Kurds in the UK. So we got this imported problem that we brought here, We got the Kurds who are here, and they're targeting each other here. So we got this incline of Kurds, a little fractured group of Kurds in the UK, a little big fractured group of Syrians in the UK, and now they're chasing each other and finding each other and fucked each other up. So they go to shops that are owned by Syrians, and they basically like do each other in. And then, of course, they also go to find the shop that's owned by a Kurdish community, and they also obviously go and destroy each other. This is what we're seeing, and it's happening not just in Manchester, by the way. It's happening all over the country. Well, obviously, I'm going to talk about Manchester because that's the town I live in, and of course, this it's chaotic. But here's what happened in France as well. It's not just happening in the UK; it's happening all over the Western countries, all over Europe. So here's what took place in France. Over 7 people were stabbed. A lot of people have been injured. A lot of cars were destroyed. A lot of buildings were destroyed. A lot of services, service workers were hurt, were beaten up. I don't know. I mean, yeah, 7 people were stabbed. Oh, that's all I can say. 7 people were stabbed. So you can imagine what else happened to other people who were around there or working around to that area. So watch this, man. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what took place in France. There's more, folks. There's more. Hold on, watch this. This is France, folks. They take down the pole. They take down the lamppost. They bring it down. I mean, that's a work of steel right there. But anyways, this is what's taking place in France. I don't know why, but France always has the worst in it. They always have the worst. But here's what's taking place in France as well. They clap, they sing, they throw rocks on shop, rocks on businesses. They light up stuff. I mean, it's crazy, folks. I mean, how did we get here? How can we get out of this? That's the question. We're already in it. How can we get out of this? Here's another one in Manchester. This is Wilmslow Road. This is Wilmslow Road in Manchester. They call it Curry Mile. Don't ask me why. I can't explain that, but they call it Curry Mile. I mean, you can make that make sense. It's been known for it's called Curry Mile, but on the map it's called Wilmslow Road. Wilmslow Road. Listen, watch this, folks. It's crazy, man. There's no sound on this, but you can, because there's an Islamic song behind it, so we turned on the sound for this. But yeah, this was last night in Manchester. So yeah, they go outside, they sing, and I don't know how they notice who's who. I don't know how they recognize who's Syrians and who's a Syrian and who's Iraqi and who's from Afghanistan and who's from Syria and who's from Iran for them to go and attack. I don't know how they do that because I can't tell. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna be a racist remark. I can't tell. I can't really I can't just look at somebody and be like, yeah, he's from Iraq or he's from, unless somebody tells me. But this is what they do. They patrol the street. They're chanting. And if they see somebody and they notice that's the guy from Syria. All right, fuck him up. And of course they fuck him up. Or maybe they patrol the street and they're like, that's the guy from Iraq. Saddam Hussein, he gassed all of us. Over 500,000 of Kurds were basically killed. It's a genocide. Actually documented by UN saying that this was a genocide. But nobody talks about it. But let's just say they see some guy from Iraq and they're like, that's the Iraqi who fucked up my people. Let's fuck him up. This is happening in the UK, folks. And all we're doing, we're just figuring out. The police are just looking and thinking, hey, what can we do? What can we do? Let's talk to community leaders. What the fuck? What do you mean community leaders? But this is where we are today, folks. This is where we are. But here's another video I want to show you. It's more detail about the thing that took place in Manchester. I think she was on the ground, but yeah, let's listen to this.
My name is Greta Simpson and I'm one of the reporters from the Manchester Evening News. I've been on Wilmslow Road in Rusholme this morning speaking to local business owners and residents following what we understand to have been a protest that took place here last night in relation to the conflict between Syrian government troops and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. Greater Manchester Police told us that the protest began as largely peaceful but then turned hostile. Videos circulating on social media today, January 21st, show outbreaks of scuffles and a car and the windows of a restaurant being smashed. Police have confirmed to us today that there was damage to properties and vehicles, but that so far no arrests have been made. Police continue to appeal for information and for any CCTV footage connected to the incident.
Yeah, this is what's happening. Police have made 0 arrests. I mean, unless they're on the ground for them to arrest people, but I'm assuming on Saturday there's going to be a lot of police on Saturday. So tomorrow, I'm going to be in town tomorrow. I'll be in Manchester tomorrow. I'll be live streaming from 11 o'clock to however long we can go. So if we're going to go like what we did yesterday to 11 o'clock, then we're going to do that to 11 p.m. So we're going to basically, if we go to 11 p.m., we might live stream from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So I'll be there. I'll be covering everything. There's going to be multiple protests taking place. One of the biggest one is going to be the Iranian protest. All this is basically all foreign conflicts, foreign affairs will be taking place in Manchester, in the street. And yeah, if you want to watch it live, tune into the show tomorrow at 11 o'clock. But yeah, this is where we are today. This is where we are. Where we don't just look over there and be like, oh, those people are fighting in that country. Oh my God, I wish them well. Then you look over here and you see those 2 people who you're talking about fighting over there are actually fighting here too. It's like, hey, like, I mean, you guys meant to fight each other over there, not here. But yeah, I mean, we can't really do much now because we've imported this problem. So it's gonna go on for as long as people can recognize that, hey, actually, we can't be doing this in this country. I mean, they are hosting us here. We're guests here, so we can't be fighting each other here. If you want to fight me, well, all right, come to Syria. I'll go to Syria. I'll join the Syrian Democratic Forces, and you join the Al Julani, the Syrian army, and then we can fight. Because that's where the battle is. We can't try to bring it over here because Barack doesn't want to see this. You know, maybe Johnny doesn't want to see this. Adam doesn't want to see this. I'm sure a lot of people who are going to town tomorrow don't want to see this. And imagine yesterday, folks, I was telling you I was so hungry yesterday. I wanted to go to eat some Afghani food. And the Afghani food is literally in Wilson, in Curry Mile. So if I would have gone and we would have captured it in real life, and I think that's dangerous, especially for being the person who I am. So that's the story today. I can't really tell you much, but this is where we are today. The Syrians are taking the street, and I'm curious to know what you guys think about this story. Comment down below. What do you guys think about this story? Do you think this is them fighting for their rights, or is just them causing public nuisance here in the UK? Let me know, because I mean, obviously, there's Iranian people are fighting in the UK as well. They're not fighting physically, but they are protesting. They're taking it to the street and raising the alarm and raising the concern about their country, about their fellow men who have been massacred by thousands. So they're protesting. Of course, now we've seen the Kurdish. They're fighting. They're destroying stuff. So I mean, I wish I had a lot of things to say about their fight. But if they're gonna be destroying shops, if they're gonna be breaking down cars, I don't know. I can't really say much nice about that. Apart from it being public nuisance and causing mayhem in the street. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next story, folks. So here's the next story now. The Met Police has banned Walk with Jesus march to avoid provoking local Muslim community. All right, let's talk about Whitechapel, folks. Let's talk about Whitechapel. Okay. I don't know if you know, but Whitechapel has been a place where it's been a place where you can't really go and say what you want to say. But a lot of Christian people, including a good friend of the show here, they've been making the walk. They've been making a walk to show a sign of like, hey, Christ still exists in this country, and Jesus Christ is the person we follow, and and every single thing is founded in Christian belief and Christian value here in this UK in the UK. So we're gonna make a walk whenever we want to make a walk, and this was Whitechapel. A lot of Christian nationalists were basically making a gathering and do Walk with Jesus march. But today they're not allowed to do that, and I'm gonna show you what has been taking place in that same place, in that same road today. I mean, the hypocrisy is insane. So hey, we're not gonna let any sort of religious walk in, but then a religious prayer takes place just a few hours after it. It's freaking insane what these police officers are doing. They've picked a side. You can tell the police officers have picked a side. The Islamists have declared victory over Whitechapel. But watch this, folks. This is the walk that has been banned, and I'm going to show you the walk that's allowed to take place. Yeah, so this is what has been banned. Nothing like that can take place again in that street. So you're walking in the street and saying Jesus is Christ. Walking on the street saying who's king? Jesus Christ. Walking in the street saying preaching the gospel. That is concerning apparently to the Met Police. And I'm gonna read you the reason why this thing was banned. So let's just quickly read this thing. So Scotland Yard has banned a UKIP march from going ahead in East London over fear of provoking local Muslim community. The demonstration, titled Walk with Jesus, was scheduled for January 31st, so maybe literally next week, in Whitechapel, to obviously make the walk, to do the walk. And this is what the police says. So Metropolitan Police official said permitting the event in this location would be reckless given the potential of violence. I mean, why would it be reckless? Is it because the Islamists have claimed victory in that area? I don't know. I'm not sure, but this is what the police says. Now let's carry on reading this article. The police carries on saying social media advertisement promoted to gathering as a Christian march, inviting participants to worship Jesus Christ during January, which is organized by obviously UKIP, and of course, as you already know, but they consider UKIP as a far right march. The police says they do not want to do this because it will provoke local Muslims. And then here's what I want you to see. Here's what the people are saying. Obviously, I'm gonna play a lot of videos. I want to show you what's taking place right now over there. This is allowed to take place in the street because apparently this is fine. Now listen to what's allowed to take place, and of course you've seen what's not allowed to take place in that area. So listen to this, folks, or watch this.
مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون.
Alright, so that's allowed to be played. That is allowed. That can take place. That's carry on. This is just a couple days ago. But the first one I showed you is not allowed because police says, let me quote again. So the Met Police, the Metropolitan Police official said, permitting the event in this location would be reckless given the potential of violence. So they're not saying who's gonna cause violence. They're not saying UKIP might go and cause violence. They're saying, hey, this is gonna be reckless if we let the people Walk with Jesus March take place in this area. But guess what? This one is good. And of course, you've heard the ones that's allowed. This is a huge problem, folks, because we've seen multiple events like this. It's in the same area as well. In the same area, these guys can actually do whatever they want, basically. They can do whatever they want. But when it comes to Christ, or when it comes to people on the right, it's more like, it might cause trouble. Hold the line. Not you. Here's another walk that took place. And I want you to see the walk that these guys are being protected. I mean, look at this walk. This walk is allowed. But if you were to turn up with a Christ and say walk with Jesus and sing some gospels and sing some songs and chant K-Stam as a wanker, I mean, you'll be banned. You won't be able to turn up again. But this one is allowed. Take a look. The police is protecting them as well.
Allahu Akbar. Are you even going to swim?
So of course this walk can go ahead, but police banned Walk with Jesus March to avoid provoking local Muslim community. And they say it would be reckless to allow them to walk in that area. It would be reckless, folks. Why would you let these guys walk in that area? It would be freaking reckless. Cancel it right now. Tell them to never even think of coming here ever again. This is where we are today. UKIP March has been banned to go ahead from that area. And now they're going to have to find another area, which maybe potentially they might get banned from there too. Because of course, the police, I'm guessing the police have spoke to, what did the police say? Local leaders. Yes, the police, I guess the police spoke to local leaders. And the local leaders probably told the police, no good. No good. And the police has come back and said, hey, bro, we can't allow you. The local leaders have said. I mean, I'm not even joking anymore because they actually say that they always speak to local leaders for advice on how to police the street. And that's what we noticed. Well, we've been knowing this for very long now. But the situation in November 6th, Maccabi fans being banned was because a local community told the police that it's not safe to let that go on, and the local police made a decision. So I'm assuming the local police has been, the local leader, has been working very well, has been working very hard. But this is where we are today, folks. This is where we are. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is the best way of going? Do you think this is the way to go forward, where we should ban people from attending from making a march, whatever place they want? I mean, Everyone should be free to go and make a march and protest whatever area, as long as it's not privately owned, as long as public area they can go. But no, it doesn't matter. They don't need to own. Well, basically they do own it now. I don't know who they, but all I know is that community leaders are pulling strings for sure, for sure. All right, folks. Let's talk about something else real quick. Glasgow Hospital admits defeat. After years of covering up, Glasgow Hospital has admit defeat. Yeah, the reason why I say defeat is because they've covered this for years. They've covered this for years, folks. Glasgow. They have covered this for years, I have to say. They have told people, do not look here. You'll get arrested if you do look here. So Glasgow police now, Glasgow government, sorry, the Glasgow authority, the SNP, I have to say, have now confirmed that the NHS in Glasgow has been covering things up about the contaminated water at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, which was opened in 2015. Despite all the whistleblowers who came out and saying, hey, there's something wrong here. You guys rushed this constructions. You guys rushed the development of this hospital. There's something going on. There's something contaminated here. The water is not good enough. And guess what happened? Because the big businesses, the big politicians didn't want to act. They told everybody to basically shut the F up. Multiple kids have died. Over 84 people have been injured. And whistleblowers come out. They're obviously being censored heavily. To the point where the NHS or the hospital itself hired. Hey, this is so evil, folks. This is very evil. They hired a online police network, basically an online media outlet, online agency to police every single person who ever says bad thing about the hospital in Glasgow, and to police it and basically to shut it down and to either get those guys blocked or get their tweets not get any sort of reach. This is what they did to make sure they don't go to work, to make sure they don't fix the problem. This is a big problem, folks. If you ask me, I think this is a problem. This is something that we should talk about every single day and remind people how evil these politicians can be. Listen to this. This is a father who lost his daughter to the water contaminated at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, and who was silenced heavily. And finally, the SNP and the NHS in Glasgow have come out and said, yeah, we're sorry. We covered shit up. I'm sorry. For the last 6-10 years, we've been covering shit up. I'm sorry. What do you mean you're sorry? Multiple people have died. Over 82 people have died. Well, not died, but over 82 people have been injured. 2 people have died. And now you're trying to sit here and say you're sorry, even though we told you multiple times. Whistleblowers came out. Victims came out to speak about it, and you censored them, and you told the public that there's nothing to see here. And now you want to say, oh yeah, we're sorry. It's crazy, folks, but listen to this.
Molly's life was cut short because of the feelings.
This hospital in Glasgow is one of the largest in Europe. Multiple children died, many others were infected, and there are real questions as to why. Glasgow's Queen Elizabeth University Hospital had a near £1 billion price tag. Opened by the late Queen in 2015, all was not as it seemed behind the scenes.
I was the infection control doctor on site when the building opened, and I immediately had concerns about the validation of the building and what we'd actually been provided.
And we now know that Dr. Peters' concerns were well founded. An inspection report carried out just days before this place opened in 2015 found high risks to the water supply.
I need you and I can't see no.
Molly Cuddihy was 15 when she was diagnosed with cancer. The schoolgirl later contracted infections at the hospital and gave evidence to a public inquiry examining the scandal.
We were told it was an environmental bug. So water or air or whatever.
That was in 2021. She died last year, aged 23.
Exactly.
It cost Molly her life. It cost her life, and the bacterial infection that Molly had such a debilitating impact on her quality of life. She was just the most remarkable girl. She was remarkable in so many ways. She could communicate on so many levels. Molly's life was cut short because of the failings, the corporate failings within an institution that was there to protect her.
Police have declared the NHS in Glasgow a suspect in a corporate homicide investigation.
That's right.
That is ongoing. Paige ended up in a cancer ward aged 2, a devastating leukemia diagnosis made worse by an infection. She's now 10 and her mum says she's still living with the consequences.
As a parent, when you get the news that your child has cancer, you automatically think my kid is going to die. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, remember we were only about 3 months into treatment, for them to come and say to us that, you know, now she's got a life-threatening infection on top of cancer. As a parent, you think your kid isn't going to pull through this. They had so many people coming forward, whistleblowers coming forward, you know, they had reports. Why didn't they act on it?
And the result of that is what?
Children died. Our children were sick.
For so many years, NHS bosses here had denied there was any link between water contamination and a raft of infections among child cancer patients. But a dramatic and unexpected U-turn in recent days, confirming that in some cases there possibly is now a link between conditions at this place and those infections. And they insist the hospital is now safe and major improvements have been made.
And NHS GGC offers a full and unreserved apology for the distress and trauma experienced by patients and families during this time.
Clearly every day thousands of patients are going to that hospital, and my colleagues in the hospital are brilliant. Do we have the evidence to show us that the hospital is safe today? From my personal point of view, I don't have the evidence that satisfies me, but I'm not the one who has to be satisfied.
Are you saying that you're not satisfied that
No.
that building is safe?
I think in terms of specific details, I don't have the details to say one way or the other. And after 10 years, that's not acceptable.
This is where we are today, folks. Companies, private companies will want contract. They want contracts so bad. They're going to promise you that they can build a new guard under £1 million so they can get the contract. And guess what we do? Guess what politicians do? They know which companies have donated to them, right? The companies who have built a super PAC for them to gain power. Of course, they're going to pick those companies, right? They're going to pick those companies to basically construct this new hospital, which we are talking about. And then the hospital will be built very poorly, right? It will be built like in a couple months or a couple years. Have you noticed how quick it takes to build a house now? Couple months, they're done. And you're thinking, how strong is our house really? If there was an earthquake here, would this house even stand? But it doesn't matter, right? The whole point is to get it done, get the money, and get another contract and move on. So these corporate businesses, they got in bed with the SNP, right? The Scottish National Party, right? I believe that's what it's called. So they got in bed with these guys, and these guys are like, oh yeah, we're going to do this. You're going to do this for us. Then they built this hospital in 2015. And then obviously the hospital was not built properly. It was rushed. Over £500 million was spent on it to build this thing. And it was rushed. And of course, these private companies probably didn't want to go and look again. Probably didn't want to go and try fix it properly. Of course it was rushed. It was rushed. And although staff, the people who know how hospitals like, the people who felt like something was wrong in the building, the people who went to regularly check the place, they checked the place and it was not good enough. It was not perfect. And they raised the alarm They came out the job to become whistleblowers, and guess what? The Scottish government did. The SNP did. Guess what they did? You'd think they'll support these whistleblowers, right? They silenced them heavily. Silenced them. They even went as far as to hire a social media agency to look at their tweets, to look at their Facebook post, to look at anyone who raised the alarm about their hospital, who says bad thing about their hospital. This is what they did. Man, this is a big scandal, folks. I don't know why people are not talking about this. I don't know why we're not outraged. People have died. So they hired this new social media agency, and the whole job, and this social media agency was hired for a yearly contract. They gave them money every year, and their job was to look at every single person who's criticizing the hospital and silence them. I mean, it's crazy, folks. So now they've come out and admitted that they are in wrong. And of course, we're going to let them go, right? Duh. This is what happens. Politicians will come and be like, I'm sorry, your daughter died. Oh, we're in wrong. And then we just move on. They carry on doing their things. They carry on getting donations. They carry on signing contracts with private businesses, and we just move on. Have you? I was gonna say COVID, but I don't know. I didn't want to get in trouble here. All right, we literally just got the channel back after over almost a year of censorship and demonetization. We don't want any sort of trouble, but there's a lot of incidents like this that have occurred in the recent history, I have to say. And now we're figuring out that the NHS, Great Glasgow, has been hiding stuff. It's insane. So here's what they did. It's important I read this thing to you guys. Here's what they did. So they now have admitted that they had secret monitoring social media posts about water contamination through a private firm, which they were paid £15,000 a year. And this firm, its whole job, its sole purpose of it was just to check online, known as a social listening. I think this thing exists. Of course, have you noticed now people are getting arrested over posts? So of course there is thing like this that exists. And all they do, they listen. They were carried out by a company called Meltwater through a 15,000 yearly contract. I mean, I hope this contract is it's been destroyed. It's like, no, I hope this contract does not exist anymore after this expose. But it's crazy, man. This is where we are today. I want to know how many other secret contracts that go on and is kept closely guarded and none of us can know and talk about it. It's crazy. But listen to this video as well. I think this video gets more into detail, where they get questioned, the SNP, the government, the Scottish government, they get questioned heavily. And they basically kind of look at themselves in the back, look at themselves, and basically have nothing to say apart from lying to the public who are listening. Listen to this, folks. It's important.
Call Russell Finlay, question number 1.
Thank you, President Officer. Child cancer patients Millie Main and Molly Curdihy. Adult patients Gail Armstrong and Tony Dines. 2 other children, names and ages unknown. All patients at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, where they contracted infections and died. Dozens more child patients also contracted serious infections. For years, families suspected that the infections were caused by the hospital's water supply. But they were lied to and smeared. NHS staff who raised concerns were bullied and silenced. The people of Scotland were told there was no problem. But now, after years of lies and deception, NHS bosses admit that it's likely that some infections were caused by the water supply. John Swinney has so far refused to release all of the information that his government holds about this scandal. Will he now do so?
Russell Finlay.
John Swinney's commitment is welcome, but it should not have taken this long, and there can be no backsliding. The families will be watching. I pay tribute to these families I cannot begin to imagine the pain they have suffered. I'm in awe of their determination and their dignity. And I think that it's important for Mr Swinney to hear what they are saying. And I quote, "We were all lied to, we were all disbelieved, we were all demeaned and smeared. We have had our families devastated and our lives traumatised. We cannot overstate the level of deceit and conniving cowardice of Greater Glasgow and Clyde Health Board. These families quite rightly expect accountability. They demand a reckoning for the board's leadership. So will John Swinney sack those responsible?"
Russell Finlay.
We wouldn't need to spend hundreds of millions of pounds in public inquiries if public bodies simply told the truth. And it's no wonder these families are so angry. The Health Board has not been held to account, but neither has anyone in this government. Nicola Sturgeon was First Minister when the hospital began treating patients on the 27th of April 2015, just 10 days before a general election. During the SNP election campaign, she kept bragging about the new hospital. For years, Nicola Sturgeon dismissed growing concerns about infections being linked to the water supply. But now, the NHS have dropped the bombshell. They've told the public inquiry. Pressure was applied to open the hospital on time and on budget. And it is now clear that the hospital opened too early. It was not ready. So let me ask John Swinney a straight question. Did Nicola Sturgeon or anyone else in the SNP government apply political pressure to open the hospital before it was ready?
First Minister.
The direct answer to that question is no.
Russell Finlay.
Well, if the Scottish Government didn't apply pressure, who did? And why did they do so? This is one of many serious scandals involving Scotland's public bodies in recent years, from Police Scotland, the Crown Office, the NHS and more. This SNP government presides over a cynical culture defined by arrogance, secrecy and cover-up. A culture of zero accountability that misuses taxpayers' money to crush victims and to silence concerns, and which treats grieving families with utter contempt.
Question.
Yeah. They didn't really care, folks. You might think, oh yeah, the government have my back. Do they? Do they really have your back? Do they have this young girl's back? Do they have her back? You might be thinking there and be like, oh, I pay my tax, so they're going to protect me. Did they protect this 10 years old girl? Her parents are probably, in shock. To be in a situation where you look at your government and be like, you freaking lied. And you called me all the names when I started speaking out against, what I noticed in the hospital. You rushed to get this hospital done, and now my daughter is dead. And you might be thinking, oh, Barack, chill out, man. It's just one daughter. Is it just one daughter? Is it? How about Molly, who also died? About this very same situation. How about many others that we probably don't know because, their death certificate says something else? The death certificate says something else. How about those people as well? How about the 82 people who have been confirmed that they're sick right now because of this problem that the hospital kept closely guarded and paid thousands of pounds to make sure this online firm silenced every single criticism about the hospital water contamination? Yeah, I don't know, folks. I don't trust the government as much, to be fair. I'm super critical of it. I think it's a system that needs a big reform for sure. We need to fix it. We need to kind of like go in there and like clean the swamp type stuff. But this is where we are, folks. This is where we are. This is where we are. All right. Oh, God. This is crazy, man. All right, let's cover this story. Number 4. Let's cover number 4. Crowbar parents have withdrawn their children from their local schools in reaction to last night's influx. Let's cover this story. This story is also frightening. It's also fine. You gotta hate this guy's story, folks. You have to listen to this guy's story. He buys a house. It moves to basically, Crowbar in the area. It moves there because he feels like, oh, there's no migrants in this area. There is not any sort of migrant hotel. I'm gonna move my daughter over here so I can live over here. And guess what? The Home Office comes out with a new idea to remove the young people who are training and working, aspire Marines, aspire civil service, aspire soldiers, aspiring all these good stuff that we need in a country. Remove those guys from the army camp to put over 500 illegal men. That's an idea that the government came up with. And now parents are withdrawing the kids from school because they're like, hey, what the heck? This was one of the safest place in the country. And now you want to it's like they want them to be everywhere. You can't escape it. They're going to take it to the countryside. It's everywhere now. Listen to this, folks.
What do you make of this? You knew it was coming for a while. Now it's happened.
Well, the interesting thing, Peter, and thank you for having me on, it was only yesterday that the Home Office actually gave us an indication that they were actually going to definitely
it was definitely going ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much notice, is it?
Well, we got a matter of hours. They promised the district council and the community at least 72 hours notice, but quite frankly, since this news broke that Crowborough was potentially going to be used as a site to house 540 illegal migrants on October the 28th last year, Home Office has broken promise after promise after promise.
What other promises do you think they've broken?
Well, I don't think it, I know it. I mean, they promised to provide impact and risk assessments to the district council. They didn't do that. They've rode back on a number of things. And this is just, the very, very poor tasting icing on the cake, quite frankly. To sneak people in at 3:30 in the morning, giving the community pretty much no notice whatsoever, is duplicitous. And it is an insult, quite frankly, to a community which has demonstrated 11 weeks in a row that it does not want this training camp, which was previously used by children in the town because it was a cadet training facility. It does not want that to be transferred into one of the biggest illegal migrant accommodation sites in the country.
I totally understand where you're coming from on that. The Home Office say robust safety and public protection safeguards are in place at Crowborough. Specialist security are on site 24/7 with CCTV and strict sign-in procedures for residents. All asylum seekers will have been screened against policing, criminality and immigration databases and will have completed initial health checks before arriving. Does that give you any succour at all? Does that help in any way?
No. And I'll tell you why.
Of course not.
The camp is a non-detained camp. That's the wording the Home Office used. So all asylum accommodation in the UK is what they call non-detained. And they've spent more money and effort trying to secure the camp for the what they call service users in the camp than they have conversing with the community around the measures they are going to do to protect the community in the event of any issue.
Tell me what your fears are, Andrew. What are you worried about here? I can imagine what they would be, but I want to hear them from you. What are you worried about?
Well, I mean, if you look across the country, Peter, in any place where there's been large numbers of illegal migrants housed in either hotels or HMOs or just put in communities, there have been instances of horrific crimes. Crowborough is right at the north, just in geographical terms, it's right at the north of the East Sussex county boundary. And I've lived in Crowborough for 11 years. I'm a relatively new resident of Crowborough. There are families who've been here for generations. But I've seen more police cars today, just today, than I've seen in the past 11 years.
That's right. That's right.
You know, we are at the extent of the operational policing sort of envelope. The response times historically have been 20 to 40 minutes for even minor things, and that's if they turn up at all. And yet we're going to have 540 people at any one time housed in that camp. And over 12 months, because they're going to house them for 70 to 90 days at a time, if I take the lower end of that number and assume that each person will be there for 70 days, that's almost 2,800 individuals who will be passing through Crowborough. And with each individual that we don't know their background, that increases the risk. So that is a risk. There's a bus stop right outside the camp. It's used by the local school children to get to school in Uckfield. So people have to potentially make changes to the way they do things. You know, mothers are perhaps going to be driving their children to school. I've heard of several people who are actually withdrawing their children from school.
Yeah. That part was important for you to hear. Mothers are withdrawing the kids from school. Think about that. Just think of how deep of that. This is not, it's not just like, oh yeah, these guys are costing us a lot of money. Oh, these guys are, oh, they're taking away the hotels. We can't book a hotel to go spend the night in the town. No. These guys are destroying the next generation. Mothers are pulling out school kids from school. The place that they're being put in, which they can house over 500 people. That place itself, you know who was occupying that place before them? It was young, aspiring civil service. Young people who want to be soldiers, want to defend the land. Young people who maybe might want to be in the police, maybe want to be in a firefighter, become a firefighter, maybe want to be, a person who goes like a rescue person. Those people who were there being trained. We had to remove those kids away from that camp so we can put these guys there. I mean, it doesn't get insane. It can't get more insane than this. This is crazy, folks. This is insane. Now it gets even worse because people thought this place was one of the safest places in the country. One of the safest places where you can afford, right? So a lot of people before this moved there because they felt like, oh yeah, this other place is dangerous. So I'm gonna buy a house in Crowborough, and I'm gonna live there with my family. I'm gonna move my family there, and that's what some people did. Only to find out a couple months later that the problem is gonna follow you there too. Now listen to this next video of a guy basically showing his frustration on how much he has spent to come there, so he can provide a place for his young daughters. And now that place has been ruined, has been destroyed. Maybe the house that he probably bought, the value probably going to go down. It's insane, folks. It's dangerous. It's ridiculous. I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know what's the benefits. I'm not sure. I can't even tell you guys what's the benefit. All I can tell you is just this is stupid.
Well, we recently moved here. This news came a few days after we moved here. Wow. The reason we moved here was for a safer place to live. Yeah. Got a little one. And we just think it's insane. It's too many people, 600 for a town of 20,000, unchecked, unvetted. We're just scared about it, really. Yeah. We just can't imagine it happening. It
must be really upsetting having just moved here because you thought it's a safe, small town, right? How do you feel about it?
I feel really nervous. I was looking forward to walking the dog in the forest, things like that, and it's just, I'm not really going to leave the house now.
Yeah. This is where we are, folks. These guys probably moved the mountain and they moved the rocks to get this place where they are. They got a house. They recently just moved there. And they're thinking, baby, don't you feel nice that we in the area that there's not any sort of crazy stuff that might happen to our daughter and yourself when you're outside alone. And then a couple months later, they're like, hey, there's a camp that just been set up over there. too late. You can't even walk the dog now. I mean, it's just terrifying. It's a huge betrayal to the British people, I have to say. It's a big betrayal to the British people. And the more it takes for, the more it goes, if it goes on like this for a while, then I don't know where we're going to be the next few years. It's going to be, I mean, don't know where we're going to be the next few years, folks. I'm not sure. Because the problem now, it's not safe for girls to go outside. It's actually not safe for girls to go outside. And that leads us to the last story today. It leads us to the last story. Number 5. Women in the UK are not safe. I agree. Now we can have this debate. Women in the UK are not safe at all. I mean, could you make me a case where they're safe? Could you come here for somebody who's suggesting that women, girls are safe in the UK? Could you make that case now today? No, you can't. Where are they safe? Are they safe in school? Okay, so they're not. Are they safe at work? No. Are they safe in the public transport? No. Are they safe in their own cars? Frick no. Where are they safe? Are they safe in their own house? No. So we can actually make an argument that women are not safe. This is some stories that we have to cover now today. They're not safe in the UK. It's not about like a lone accident that took place, that a girl, something happened to her, some guy did something to her. No. We can actually make this case. It's a regular thing now that it happens to every single girl that's outside. It potentially can happen to anyone. It's not about if. It's about when you're outside or when you're around, something might happen to you. Somebody might come into your house. A delivery driver might try to sneak in as soon as you open the door. Barge through. We've seen a lot of cases of that. Now listen to this. Watch this video. This is a lady in her own car. She's in the car. The windows are up. But somehow somebody tries to come open the door. Imagine, you're just sitting in your car. Maybe you're parked. Maybe you're waiting for a friend. Maybe you're looking at the phone. You're in a car. You're in the car. It's your fucking car. You parked up, but somebody wants to come and actually open the car to get you out. To do what exactly? To do exactly what? Watch this, folks.
Get off my car door. Are you mad? Get off of my door.
So just thought I'd do a quick video to raise awareness. That incident happened to me last night at 10:30 p.m. in London on Dock Street. I pulled up to the traffic lights and basically the guy, after smiling and waving at me and me just ignoring him and focusing on the traffic lights, he decided to come over to my car, bang on the window, do all sorts of signals, some gun signals, and he was trying to get into my car. I couldn't drive off as I was pulling onto a busy main road, so I would have ended up in a car accident. So I decided to take out my phone and record him, and he quickly put up his hood. This lasted for a whole 2 minutes. The video only shows the snippet. It was a really, really horrible experience. Yeah. As the light was about to go green, I dropped my phone. He ran round and stood in front of my car to try and not let me pass. And then I think I managed to sort of reverse a bit and sort of swerve around him. I did contact the police, but they said they weren't able to come out and they'd scheduled an appointment for me to give a statement next week. So I just thought I'd put out a message to say, please, please, please make sure you lock your car doors when you're driving around London.
Yeah. Imagine you're in your car. I mean, it's your freaking car. It's a traffic light. The light is red. There you're gonna wait. Most people don't even lock their cars though. I remember driving. I never used to lock my car though. I'm getting in. I'm driving. Why would somebody try to open the door when I'm driving? I didn't invite them. This is where we are today, folks. Somebody will try to open your car door without your permission. And what? They're going to come in and sit? And what they expecting? You're going to drive them around? No. It's not safe, woman. And this doesn't happen to guys. Have you noticed? It doesn't happen to guys. If a guy's in a car, nobody will be, no other guy will try to walk into another guy's car because it's going to be a problem for the other guy. It's going to be a problem for the person who's trying to do that. But to girls, it happens. So we can actually make an argument that girls are not safe in this country, folks. But here's another one. This happened in Crewe. I know Crewe very well. It's a place that I used to go often. I used to actually go there every week. From Manchester to Crewe is not that far. And I didn't know this place was, I mean, now I'm seeing these videos. This was 2020. I used to go to Crewe all the time. It was like a getaway stuff. And plus, I used to run a business over there. So I used to go, yeah, regular stuff. But this is Crewe today. It's not a place you would expect this. It's a small little town. It's a small little place between Manchester and what's the other place? Sorry, I'm forgetting all these places. But it's a small little place. You wouldn't expect this in Crewe because there's like it's very small little place. It's like a place where you wouldn't expect a big building being built there. It's a tiny little place. People just go there maybe to retire. But this is what's taking place over there now. Young girls are not safe. Viewer discretion advice for this next video I'm about to play to you, because it's far more horrific than the one that you just seen. Yeah, it's far more horrific, but watch this.
Fuck off! Politely fuck off. What the fuck?
So young girls are just walking, potentially coming from school or going to college, wherever they're doing. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever they're doing. But a guy is just sitting there, lurking around. Just lurking around. And then proceed to start trying to touch the girl's butt. For what? And by the way, I mean, the reason why I say Crewe was a better place back then, because they didn't have all these migrants, they didn't have hotels over there. But ever since 2024 in Crewe, now they have hotels popping up. They have places being, they have hotels being taken away from, being housing migrants now. So, of course, now we're seeing videos like this. But in Crewe, you wouldn't expect this. Of course, there's going to be some sort of crime in Crewe where, those people, I mean, sexual assault has been going on for very long. It's not like it's just, but now it's just far worse than ever before. So now these are the videos that we get in Crewe. I've not been in Crewe for very long, to be fair, so I don't know how it is today. Last time I was in Crewe was 2022. I vividly remember that because that's when I was closing down the stuff I used to do over there. So yeah. So I mean, I've never been for too long. So this is what we're seeing over there. It's crazy, folks. This is dangerous. Now, there's a lady who's getting a lot of attention, rightfully so. I would say not for a good reason as well. But she actually deserves the attention. The reason why she's in this position is because she's been sexually assaulted. That's why I say, this should not be the reason why girls speak up. It shouldn't happen. People shouldn't, girls shouldn't be sexually assaulted for them to feel like they need to speak up. It shouldn't happen at all. They shouldn't go through this, where they have to come to the media to plead with us, to plead with the government into doing something. But this lady was sexually assaulted in a train in London. I want you to listen to her speech here at LBC. I think it's important. I think it's time we start having this conversation. I know a lot of guys might disagree. I know some guys might say, "Oh, it's not all guys. Not all guys are the same." I get it. I understand. But I think it's important to start having this debate. But listen to this, folks.
I was travelling from London back home after work in January of 2023, and I reported to the British Transport Police that a man had attempted to physically, sexually assault me, and they said there was nothing they can do because I moved, so I wouldn't allow him to assault me in order for them to be able to bring charges. Again, that is word for word what the police officer said to me. He also asked me on multiple occasions what I was wearing. On the first instance, to identify me on security cameras, totally understand it, but you don't need to ask me for the 10th time what I was wearing and why I
Even if he
didn't
didn't
move.
touch you, it's harassment.
Yeah.
And there are laws around harassment.
But they turned around to me and said there's nothing they can do because I didn't allow him to touch me.
This is insane. It's insane, folks. So now the police officer wouldn't take action Unless maybe you were wearing something that will, well, for them would be like, whoa, this deserves action. What if she was wearing leggings? Oh, is that her fault? I mean, because that's where we are now. It's like, whoa, you know, a girl gets sexually assaulted in the public, and then the police first thing they ask is like, what were you wearing, darling? How does that matter? Oh, what if she said she was wearing a burqa, like she was full on, only her eyes could be seen? And by the way, Muslim girls also get sexually assaulted, just in case you don't know. I mean, are we gonna say, oh yeah, that's a crime that, you know, that's something that we're gonna proceed with? That's something that needs a follow up to. Let me send my officers to your house so they can investigate and ask you further questions and dig deeper. Oh, what if she says, actually, I was wearing some shorts. I was wearing a cropped t-shirt. I was out. I was having fun. And then some guy sexually assaulted me. So did the police officer turn around and say, actually, we can't do anything about that. It's your fault. You're wearing a cropped t-shirt. You're showing a little bit of cleavage. You're wearing, a little tiny little short. It's your fault. Is that where we're going to be now? I mean, we need to have this conversation, folks. Is there going to be a dress code now? I know it's a stupid conversation, but it looks like the police officer have gone that way. And now we have to start having that conversation where it's like, hey, is this how you want us to dress? Meaning in regards to girls. Is this how you want them to dress? This is a problem, folks, and it needs to be tackled. It's getting worse and worse each year. When you look at the numbers in 2024, the numbers are horrific. The numbers are insane. In 2024, over 700,000 rape and sexual assault took place. And only 3% of that were followed up by the police. Only 3%. So 100 people, let's say they did something, only 3 people will be followed up by the police. I mean, where the fuck are we living? That is just 2024. I can't wait for the 2025 numbers. I hope that number has gone down. I hope it's not 1 million. By the way, these reports are just the girls who reported, are just the crimes that were reported. And I know, like, maybe I'll probably say more than 50% of people don't report because they see like, yeah, nothing will happen. They won't do anything. This is where we are, folks. Now listen to this other video. I think I have huge respect for this lady. I really do. I think she's an advocate. Her voice is necessary in today's time. She speaks sense. Listen to this girl.
Such an important issue for me because I've been living in London for 10 years. I've also lived in multiple other countries around the world. Never before have I felt as unsafe as I do now. When I walk down the street, I'm increasingly being leered at. I'm increasingly being followed like I'm going around the souks of Morocco. And it's not visibly to me anyway, people who were born and bred here. It isn't. And it's very difficult because we're not allowed to talk about it because, oh my gosh, that breaks taboo. Oh, you're a racist if you say this. I'm sorry. A lot of women going about their daily business feel that their safety is being directly threatened by people who are coming from different cultures. And this needs to be discussed because I've had enough. All my other female friends have had enough. When I put this stuff online, the number of comments online from other women saying they've had enough and saying thank you for talking about this. Was it not enough when we noticed what was going on with grooming gangs? Was it not enough when we see what's happened to the victim of Abdullah Zaidi? When are we going to have the conversation that women's safety is being mortgaged at the altar of mass immigration and this faux political correctness?
I mean, she speaks sense. Women's rights are being sold. It's being bargained. It's like, how far can we take away women's rights? How far can we take that away? Because now, since it's very dangerous it's dangerous for them to go to work because something happens there too. Dangerous for them to go to the shop, something happens there too. It's dangerous for them to be in their own car, something happens there too. It's dangerous for them to walk to college because I just showed you the video. Something happens to them too. And it's also dangerous for them to even be in a relationship with a untrusted man, because something happens to them too. I mean, all right, some of you guys might be like, Barack, now you're doing too much now. But a woman is most likely to be killed by a partner. Every single 3 days, 3 people, 3 girls are killed every day by a partner, meaning a man killing their wife. This is an insane number that I got a hold of. I was thinking, why are they killing their loved ones? Yeah, every day. 1 to 3 women are being killed by their partner. I mean, nobody talks about this. But it's actually so, like, I mean, I would be scared. Because, I mean, as a man, you feel like you're safe anywhere, unless you go to a place where you know there's other guys there who will fuck you up. Like some places I don't want to go because I'm like, I talk shit about those guys. I don't want to go there. And whenever I'm with my boys, and I'm like, yeah, let's go anywhere, bro. Because I'm in with boys. I mean with my boys. Whenever I'm in town, I got my friends with me. They have their thing. I mean, obviously me, I don't do anything. But I can be cheeky because yeah, it's all right. But girls, what? Whenever we're there with more girls, it's more prevalent. It's more dangerous then. Because guys are like, ooh, look at all these. Look at all these birds, they say. They can't go anywhere if they want. They can't be like, all right, we're going to go in groups. It's even worse. As a man, you kind of feel safe. You know where not to go. But you know if you're in a car, nothing will happen to you. Unless people are looking for you and you've done something and maybe they perceived you as being in this group and you've said this and this. And then obviously something might happen to you. But with girls, you don't even have to do anything. You just have to exist. Something will happen to you. That's how crazy it is for girls. And that's why it's important that we start raising this alarm right now, because it looks like it's getting worse each day. It's getting worse each day, folks. And it's important that we talk about it, all right? It's important that we talk about it. All right, yesterday we said each time when the broadcast finish, we hit this bell. And we're going to hit it now. We said yesterday we're going to start doing it. So today, the broadcast is done. So let's hit this bell. All right, the broadcast is done. Now I can talk to you guys. I'm going to look at your chats and we can go for 20 minutes on the clock. And let's go for, actually 21 minutes. 20 minutes on the clock. And we can go through, we can interact together. So let me look at the chat. What you guys are saying? What are you guys saying? What do you guys think of this story? Which one was more horrific? Which one was more scary? The first story was kind of like insane, seeing what's taking place in Manchester. The last story is certainly, I mean, all stories are important. Glasgow story was I mean, seeing what the government is doing, hiding what they've done. Multiple people have died. I mean, that is quite, like, that's horrific. That shouldn't go on. So I think all of these stories were important. Also, the story of Christians not allowed to walk in certain places. That is like, what? Why? So what do you guys think, folks? Talk to me, folks. What do you guys think? We got 20 minutes on the clock, so let's engage. You love Alex Phillips. Yeah, she's good. She's based. Alex Phillips is based. Kenzie, okay. What conversation are you guys having? I want to get involved now. She's 100% original woman. Yeah, she is 100% original woman. If you're talking about Alex Phillips, yeah, she's 100% original woman, for sure. She's not a. Okay, I was gonna say something, but yeah, she's 100% original woman. Did anyone see one of the young women being harassed because of what she was wearing from a Muslim, from a Muslim in Asda, from a Muslim Asda worker? It's not like she was wearing her pajama. Damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't see that video. I didn't see that video. Hopefully you can see my previous messages from the start about the military, mod, and NATO. How far is it? Because, you know, I can only scroll I can't scroll till the very start. So if your comment was at the very start, I can't really go that back. I can only go to some extent. Maybe the last 2 minutes I can see all the chats, but I can't go all the way from the start. That's way too far. Baraka Amuri, I appreciate you and your work. Keep us informed, legend. Thank you so much, bro. I salute you too. Appreciate you for tuning in and supporting the broadcast is important. Thank you. Girl murdered. I am in the park. Police take pictures to share. Wait, 2 girls murdered in the. I'm assuming you're saying in the park, but you say I am the park. So I'm assuming you say in the park. Police take pictures to share. What? When did this happen? When did this happen? Very worrying, Barack. So all the stories were worrying. Vix says it's all scary. Tracy says all stories are scary. Jason says all the stories we covered were very worrying. Yeah, I agree. All of this, they were scary, worrying. One is the government, NHS in Glasgow involved, and also the other one with the government saying, the Met Police saying we can't take a walk for Jesus Christ, Jesus's walk. That's like, what the heck? That's kind of worrying. And then the first one with the Kurds and the Syrian fighting here in the UK. Why? That's kind of worrying. Why are we seeing these guys destroying our businesses here? That's scary. And then, of course, Crowborough, where 27 men, illegal men, being smuggled in at night. Despite furious protests from the locals, they still smuggle these guys in. You can tell protesting doesn't do as much work. That is worrying. And of course, women's rights. Girls are not safe in the country. So that is something that we need to talk about. So let's keep reading this. A lot of Muslims in the police too. I don't know if that should be a problem. I'm not sure. Don't know what you're trying to imply there. I think Muslims can be good people. Well, no, I don't consider all Muslims as one. I think everyone has their own behavior. Because I have a lot of Muslim friends too. A lot of them, well, all my Muslim friends are good, cool people. To be fair, I've met a lot of Muslims. I mean, my editor is a Muslim. So, and of course, I criticize his religion all the time. I criticize Christians too. I don't consider all of them the same. But I'm always on my, I'm always on my lookout. But yeah, I remember the picture sharing 2 girls' body. They share them on WhatsApp. Really? Is this true? All right, send me an email of what you're talking about. At least send me a link. I'm gonna follow it up. If this is real, then this needs to be reported. If that's what happened, 2 girls dead in the park and the police all just took pictures, that's a big problem. Somebody says, I have Muslim family. I was replying to someone else. Sorry, got confused. No, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Many men get abused by their partners too. Yes, I agree. Many men get abused by their partner. The numbers are lower. That's because men don't report it. Yes, true. A lot of men get raped too. There's a lot of rape that goes on, and a lot of men get raped. Not many people talk about it. I understand, and I think we also need to include men's mistreatment in this country too. There's a lot of young boys who have been trafficked in for sexual pleasure of older men. It's insane. We looked into it once. I mean, you don't want to look, bro. You don't want to go deep. The deeper you go, I mean, the more scary you are of the world. I'm telling you. So yeah, men as well. Then I mean, we always a lot of people say, oh yeah, men, you gotta be tough. You can't do this. You can't do this. But folks, I mean, The loneliness is insane. Hey, I live alone. It's been 2 years. I live alone. I wake up in my own bed. I sleep alone. I make my own food. Actually, do I? I order food. So the loneliness in the men is it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And when you look at the suicide, it's insane. Like 18 to 9 men. 9 women, 18 men. When it comes to suicide, each time it's dangerous. I mean, a lot of young boys are taking their life. A lot of young men, and most men at the age of as soon as they hit age 40, they are more likely to basically commit suicide. I think this is something that we need to talk about. I mean, we need more men to come out and encourage each other and be more like friends, man. Because it's easy to make friendship with men, but we don't talk as much. We don't talk to each other. I mean, we don't check up on each other. I don't remember the last time one of my friends called me up and said, "Hey, Barack, how you doing?" And I also don't remember the last time I checked up on one of my friends that I know and speak to. I don't remember. I mean, we think it's gay into calling another man and be like, "Good night, bro." I mean, I don't know. Would I do that? I'm not sure. But we don't check up on each other. And that's a problem. We always think it's gay, and we always think it's like, oh, don't do it. You can't be a soft man. Nah, actually, we need to actually check up on each other. There need to be like a group chat where men get together and have fun and talk about stuff. And that's why pubs are really important. In pubs, whenever I go to a pub, it's surrounded by men, and we're having a conversation, and you're thinking, this is so much fun. And the conversation we're having is top G conversation. We're having all the crazy conversation in the pub. And I think, and the fact that a lot of pubs are going down, a lot of pubs are being converted to mosque, a lot of pubs are being like going down because of all these taxes and all the raid from the Labour Party. Kind of scary, because that's the only place that men have where they can go and feel like, hey, my friend, because as soon as you walk in a pub, everybody is nice to you, unless you are a dick unless they know that you are you are fucking. Sorry guys, I'm gonna stop swearing. Unless they know that you are certain, you are a certain way, and they're like, all right, that guy's, you don't want to be around that guy. But if you just walk into a pub, every guy is like, yes man, you want a pint. People would want to get you a pint and chop it up with you guys and have fun and talk and have a good conversation. That is normal. That's what we need more pubs, not less. Because we don't have, I mean, a lot of people are pitching social media. Social media has contributed to the loneliness epidemic that young men are going through. Not just young men, all men are going through. Because on social media, there's not anything to do with social on social media. There's nothing like that on social media. There's nothing. All you're doing is just scrolling, seeing other people faking it. And then you try to fake it online. Everybody is just faking online. Everybody is faking it online. That's what it is. It's not really social media. Everybody's trying, they pose a picture with a car, and every man is like, oh, I want a car. No, they don't have the car. Maybe they rented it, now they're taking picture with it. And all men are like, oh, he's doing better than me. No, really, bro. You're actually doing better than him in other areas. I think, yeah, for sure, we need to talk a lot about men. That said, if men had better friendship, we would save a lot of everyone's time and money collectively. Yes, exactly. If men had a lot of good friendship, it's insane. I mean, yeah, we need more men. We need them to be friends, and yeah. Gray says everybody is not okay. 100% right, Barack. We have electricity, phone cables in these tunnels. Yeah, correct. That's true. Look at the sea. Look at the bed. The ocean is full of cables. Full of cables. Yeah. It's all virtual signaling. Yeah, social media is all virtual signaling. That's what they call it. Social media. Social. I mean, what is there social about on social media? What's social about social media for real? Tell me. When you go on X and you see people hating on others, do you feel that like you're socializing with people? When you go on Facebook and you see these clickbaiting type of videos and so much hate being spread, do you feel like you're socializing with people? No. I think social media just want you to stay on social media, and that's it. And to me, that's not social. They just want you to keep scrolling. And all you're seeing people from Japan, which means social. You're seeing people from Africa. You see everywhere around the world. Yes, some people might say social media has connected the world. Yes, it has connected the world, but it has also ruined the friendship of the world itself. Because before you had to go outside and actually make friends, you had to go outside and make friends. You had to go to the park and get in a fight, and the person who you had a fight with, that's your best friend. Every single friend I have, I've had a fight with them. Either a big argument that ended up one guy getting punched. That is my friend. Almost all my friends, I've had a fight. My friend is my little brother. I beat the fuck out of him. Sorry for swearing. That is my friend. Every single person. Because it was real life. It wasn't online. Oh, it wasn't because I liked his picture and reshared his post. No, it was on real life. We spoke, we had a disagreement, we fought, and then our friendship became strong. We trusted each other. We tested each other. And we know whenever we're in trouble, we know who to call. We know which friend to call in what situation, because we know them personally in real life as well. So social media has not really made anything. They've not really contributed to like the social side of life. But yeah. I think it is speaker corner or information boards to be taken within the pinch of salt. I think Manchester should. I think every town should have like a speaker's corner. Yeah, I think so. I think every town in Manchester should have like a speaker corner where people can go and debate and have a conversation with each other and create friends. Where it's not just, oh, you got to travel to London. I think everybody should have it. Kenzie says, some family are fracturing. Yes, that's correct. A lot of families are fracturing. Not just some. I would say most families are fracturing in the UK. The state has become so much involved into the family matters to the point where they're trying to remove the mom and dad. Or maybe they're trying to be the grandpa, or maybe they're trying to be the wisdom person in a family where the state is always involved. A kid gets punished in the house, and somehow the police is at the home trying to figure out stuff. Who called you? It's a family matter. Police, get out. So yeah, the state has intervened so much where now the kids are like basically state's kid, where the state now is basically what it's turned into is that parents give birth, mom and dad give birth, and guess what? The state does the rest. Have you noticed? Nowadays, even parents are angry with the state for not taking care of their kids. It's like, what do you mean you're angry with the state for not taking care of your kid? I'm seeing family making an argument saying, oh, my kid is not going to eat. I'm not receiving my kid's benefit. Your kid is not going to eat? Whoa, I mean, you gave birth to this person and you're saying it's not going to eat unless the government gives you their benefit. What do you mean? It's your kid. You have the responsibility to feed it, the responsibility to take care of it, the responsibility to make sure this person grows and become a good person of the society. That's your responsibility. You're not meant to look around and look at which government is not feeding your kid. I mean, this is the problem, folks. That's why I want people to have kids, but I also want them to know, if you're going to have kids, you're going to have to take care of them. It's a big job. I would say it's one of the most important jobs in the world. Because you're not just taking care of it's not just a machine where you're taking care of this. No, you're taking care of a real human being who will become the person who they'll become somebody in the world. Either they could become the next warrior for the country, or maybe they could become another Hitler of the world. And that depends on how you treat them. That depends on how you take care of them. You don't want to build a Frankenstein. You don't want to do that. You don't want to contribute to some guy who's going to come and become a public nuisance and become a menace in a society. You want to contribute and raise a child who you look upon when you're 70-year-old and be like, I'm proud of you, son. You know, I like it when my mom says she's proud of me. I love it. It's fucking sick. Sorry, guys, for swearing. It's so good when your parents say they're proud of you. Because you can see that this is what they wanted. This is what they wanted to bring into the world. And they're proud of that. So yeah, of course, if you have a kid, you should be able to be there every single time and take care of them. I don't like every time when I go to my sister's house and I see a kid with a laptop. Or I see a kid on their phone. I'm like, hey, did you leave your phone to the child by accident? Here's your phone. Take it back. They don't need your phone. They need a book. If not book, they need to follow you around and learn how to behave. Maybe they should learn how to wash the dishes. Because they're going to need it in their life. Look at me. I'm living alone. You know what I do if I'm not doing my work? I'm washing dishes. I'm preparing food. So of course, the states have fractured. The kids have been taken away from their parents, and the parents have become cowards enough to look at states and think the states own them something. And what else? Groom factories. Yes, groom factories. I'll probably say you're probably talking about schools. You need to be resilient, disciplined, and accountable for your children. Yes, that's correct. You need to be disciplined and resilient, and also accountable for your children. A lot of parents don't even take accountability for the children. They don't. They literally don't. Rosie says, I gotta go. Catch you next live. Yes, Rosie, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. I mean, how long do we have? We literally have 1 minute. Rosie, can you wait? We got 1 minute. Come on. We got 1 minute until the live is over. Come on, Rosie. We've done 2 hours. I mean, we can do 1 minute. But I do appreciate you if you're gonna go. I'll be live. I'll be live tomorrow from 11 o'clock. Actually, tomorrow morning, I'm going to my parents' house. I can't wait. So I'm going there. I literally made a post and I said, hey, I'm coming tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to my parents' house tomorrow. From early morning, and I'll be there from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I'll be live from 11 till 5 p.m. The whole day I'll be live. The whole weekend I'll be live. I'll also be live on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday I'll be live. Not me, my team will be live on Sunday on this channel. So tune in for that. My team will be live on Sunday. Tune in for that. They're gonna be broadcasting something special to you guys this Sunday. But Saturday I'll be outside with the patriotic brothers from Iran, and we're gonna be going out there and delivering a message, and I'll see if they need anything helped, then I'll be around. And there'll be a lot of protests tomorrow. So there'll be a lot of protests. There'll be the left will be protesting, the Antifa will be protesting, there's a lot of lefty group that protest all the time. You know, there'll be the trans people who will be protesting, which they were protesting last week as well. Okay, we don't have enough time. The time is wrong now. They will be protesting. A lot of people will be protesting. Also, the Syrian and the Kurds and the Syrian will be protesting. The Iranian people will be protesting. The pro-abortion people will be protesting. The pro-trans people will be protesting. The only people who will not be protesting tomorrow is the British people. But every single person who has their mission, their ideology, they're gonna be protesting tomorrow, and you're gonna see it live and direct here on the Baraka Show tomorrow from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. or 6 or 7 p.m. We're gonna go the whole way. So the equipment will be charged, the equipment will be fully powered up to go the whole day. This is gonna be the first broadcast that you're gonna see from the start to the very end. But folks, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to help the show, if you want to contribute to the cost that it costs to keep the editors working, to keep the researchers working, then you can contribute by leaving a donation, or you can contribute by liking this broadcast. You can contribute by commenting, or you can contribute by sharing. All that makes this broadcast stronger than ever. Thank you so much, folks. Without further ado, again, hand to the head salute. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Attention, attention, attention. This is not just a normal t-shirt. This is your battle armor in this war against lies and manipulation and deception. And when you wear this t-shirt, you are not just making a statement. You are drawing a line in the sand. And you're saying, I will not be silenced, I will not be bought, and I will not be steered. Every thread in this t-shirt, screams defiance. Every letter of I found the truth, not propaganda. Or maybe every letter of the nation needs to know is a rally cry out for independent thinkers, disruptors, the people who refuse to bend to the mainstream media narrative. We need your fund, and this is your chance to stand up, to speak out and fund the fight for the truth. Don't just wear it like a regular t-shirt. You have to live it. The nation needs to know you're gonna live it. Yes, please. I need you to fuel the resistance. Be the reason why the truth survives in this country. Please get yours at thebarakashow.com. And thank you so much for keeping us on air. Thank you.
In the shadow of the digital gulag, we fire up the truth cannon and blast through the lies.
And the show host, Baraka Amuri.
Our country is built on an idea. It's an idea so powerful that some of us have died to protect it. It shapes our connection, our politics. It forms the fabric of our daily lives. And it seems so fundamental we rarely pause to consider its significance. But here's the thing. This notion is entirely uncrafted. And although it feels like it's getting stronger and it's always going to be here, the truth is, it's becoming more fragile than we realize. This concept is a community. It's built when people with shared interests, value and goals come together, interact regularly, support each other, and work towards a common objective, creating a sense of belonging within the group. That's called a community. You are not just a person who happens to live in Manchester. You are Mancunian, or Londoner, or Brummy, or Scouse. With what our leaders are doing, we are slowly losing this community. So let's stop for a moment to learn why this idea has existed forever and how it got us here. Because once you do, it makes sense why we should keep this concept alive. So help me build this community.
They tried to erase the signal. They pulled the plug, demonetized, censored, shadow banned. That's what they did to us. But the truth, my friend, will always find the frequency. I call this Operation Airwave Liberation because I'm not just back, I'm broadcasting from ruined. But this time, the airwaves is mine. And this time, it's uncensored. I watched them strip everything that we built. No warning, no explanation, silence, just taking everything away. 300 plus videos, deleted, all gone. And if you think this is about community guidelines, you've not been paying attention. This is a war. This is a digital gulag dressed in a terms of service type of way. They want us gone because we're saying things that they don't like. Maybe we're asking questions because we're curious. They don't like the questions we're asking. Or maybe we refuse to play nice in this echo chamber that we're in. They first hit me with the algorithm. The video is not getting enough views. Then they hit me with the monetization. Well, no money for you. But guess what? They forgot to hit my will. They thought that'll be enough. It's gonna cave and it's gonna run away. But guess what I did? I rebuilt, I rewired, I learned the game behind the curtains and see how they operate. I'm not just back, we're launching Operation Airwave Liberation. No filters, no masters, just signals. The signal they tried to block, but this time is very strong. The wind can't even penetrate through this. This, my friend, isn't just about me. It's about all of us. Every single voice that's been cancelled, clipped, and used in the wrong way by the media. From now on, moving forward, I'm not just creating content anymore. I'm sorry. I'm building a resistance on camera, off grid, and above the algorithm. And if you are watching this, you are the resistance. This channel isn't just a platform. This is a broadcast tower for the truth. I'm glad I'm back.